This is the Interior Design Beat Podcast with your host, interior designer, speaker, and author, Stephen C. Adamko. I am a professional interior designer, plus the owner and founder of Spectrum Interiors, established in 1982, based in Kalamazoo and Portage, Michigan. You'll always find candid commentary on various interior design subjects and topics, including the good, the bad, and the ugly. Telling you like it really is, giving you the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so you don't have to hope you are lucky in any type of interior design situation. Once again, my name is Steve Adamko, giving you a healthy dose of interior design commentary, critique, interpretation, and analysis. This is episode number 11, and we're going to be talking about business, taking care of business by making your customers, clients, and guests feel special and appreciated by the way you handle your interior design. This is very important stuff in this podcast. All right, folks, this is going to be a wonderful time. This is going to be amazing. We've got a lot on tap for you in these upcoming podcasts in 2018. So let's get started right now. All right. This podcast is a unique combination of two interrelated topics. It's going to be about business interiors and business office interiors, but it also has a lot of correlation and application to residential interior design as well. I'm going to be talking about businesses and offices, ambiance, as well as the silent salesperson and how to capitalize on it. I'll also describe how to discover and integrate your business mission statement with your interior design presentation. One of the most important concepts in the design of offices, financial institutions, restaurants, and various places of business, as well as residential interior design, is really everything that goes into it. So obviously, this includes all the materials, furniture, details, window treatments, artwork, and accessories, etc. All of these components, no matter how big or small, are operating individually as well as in concert as silent salespeople for your particular office. And for your residential environment, they operate as a silent host as well. When it comes to business, the vast majority of business people do not understand the importance of this aspect of their business, nor do they realize the impact of their visual presentation and how it directly affects their potential clients' perceptions. So it's all about the look and the feeling, or the look and the ambiance. Whether it's a business or a home or a restaurant, they are all important aspects to consider when looking at the whole total presentation. So number one is ambiance. This is the aspect that's all about the feelings and all about the emotions that are projected to your clients, customers, or guests. A lot of this is going to come out during the discovery phase of the project. In other words, you need to ask the right questions that will cause your business, or you and your business, to think more deeply about the cause and the effect relative to your working environment. Consider how clients, customers, and guests perceive you and how they relate to you through that environmental context. This process promotes a feeling of success if you do it right, no matter what level you are at in your particular genre or within the company itself. So it really doesn't matter whether you have a low-end environmental situation or you're at the high end of an environmental context. The same principles and theories and ways of going about it are the same. Therefore, by way of analogy, the recipe is the same. My personal definition of ambiance is as follows. It is the intangible element of an interior that touches the heart, the soul, the mind, and the emotions, that is visually appealing intellectually stimulating, emotionally satisfying, and totally enriching for the occupants and others. Number 2, the silent salesperson. This aspect is a real supercharger. When this is done right and applied correctly, the money that is invested in all the various elements of your interior design project is put to work or employed to do double and triple duty. Your investment works to your advantage by performing the task of multiple salespeople, selling the clients and customers to do business or to continue to do business with you by tapping into as many of the 5 senses as possible. Again, this is the same thing for residential interiors. The more you can tap into or affect in a positive way all the 5 senses, the better the experience, the richer the sensation, the greater the enhancement of the interior, and the greater the overall complete and comprehensive enjoyment people are going to have within that environment. The silent salesperson concept is all about orchestrating all the different elements that make up great interior design. Having each of these pieces, or having each of those pieces, come together in a musical way is what sells or romances the client. Some of these people are potential clients or customers that become sold or convinced in doing business with you and your company. Others are current clients who purposely continue doing business with you. In either case, you are courting the client or the customer, not only the new ones, but also the ones that have been with you for a long time. You're still courting them. You must remind yourself that they can take their business elsewhere if they so desire. So take advantage of your opportunity to continue courting each one of your clients through a masterful manipulation of all the various elements that make up fantastic interior design. Now, business people are not going to know how to do this. You business people are typically not going to know how to do this. So again, the concept is key. It's the concept that's important. So you need a talented, masterful interior designer to do this. Someone who knows how to tap into not only the look, but the feeling, the intellect, the manner of thinking, and all these other elements of your consumer or customer. The mental mindset and the makeup of your client or customer, particularly the ideal client or customer. So it has to be orchestrated masterfully in order for it to eventually end up as a tour de force interior design that's going to say and project something meaningful. It's just like writing a piece of music. When it's all said and done, the music has to affect you emotionally and move you. When you handle things that way, or let a professional interior designer who really knows what they're doing handle this for you, you'll be miles ahead of your competition. Again, you have to have a designer that really has a handle on being able to create musically orchestrated interior environments. Nobody can fake their way through this to create and fully capture all of the elements necessary for exceptional interior design. It has to be done with a careful thinking mindset. Quality is never an accident. It's always the result of intelligent effort. Unfortunately, I've seen cases where someone did not think the interior design situation through. After the construction was completed and the work was done, hundreds of thousands of dollars had been spent. Later on, the realization came to the forefront that, oh, this should have been done different. That's not the time when you want to find out about it. That's for sure. Wouldn't you agree? That's where vision comes into play. And that's different than actual visual sight. Vision is what you see with your mind beforehand. The important part about this is that when someone is designing, they must, at least in my book, they must have the ability to see things done before they are done. And they must have the ability to actually see it and feel it as if it's a reality. Nothing short of this will do. Thankfully, I have that gift, because if I didn't, I'd probably be dangerous. And I might be dangerous. But I'll tell you, there are a lot of people out there, a lot of designers, decorators that are definitively dangerous. And yet the client doesn't have a clue about it. How shameful is that? It's too bad. It's really too bad. That's a sad situation. Okay, so when you orchestrate all these things together, or you have someone orchestrate these things together for you, this is your gift to the client or the customer or the guest. It's your gift to them, whereby you are able to make them feel special and appreciated. A lot of businesses don't have a realization of how important this aspect is of having a wonderful environment where you make the customer or client feel special and appreciated. It doesn't matter if it's a place where they change tires or change oil in their cars, or whether it's a restaurant or any other place of business. So it's extremely important to get a hold of this fact and not let it go. You need to be very tenacious and adamant about getting an orchestrated environment that touches all the senses in a very positive way. This silent salesperson that we're talking about, in other words, the way something is handled and presented, the silent salesperson actually goes to work from the minute they pull into your parking lot, to opening the front door, to entering your building and viewing your reception area or whatever it is that they're seeing when they first enter the door. Your silent salesperson, which is all the materials and everything that are orchestrated to say something particular, should be talking to and communicating with your client or customer even while they're waiting for you to greet them or before an assistant brings them to your office. So again, whether you know it or not, each of these elements in your interior design are making an impression on your client or customer or guest every time they enter your place of business. The impression can be good or not so good, depending on what is being communicated. In other words, how are all the elements composed so that they say something fantastic? It's just like a recipe or going to a fine restaurant where the entree is put together in such a wonderful way that it's, oh my gosh, unbelievable. There's also a great quote that goes something like this, and people have heard it all the time. Some people may not have heard it, but it's this: you never get a second chance to make a first impression. I'm going to say this a second time. You never get a second chance to make a first impression. How true that is. Number 3, the rich environment. This is extremely important when dealing with high-end places of business or financial institutions, or with clients of a high net worth that utilize your services or buy your offerings. This element ties in with ambiance and the silent salesperson. But in all truthfulness, this element of richness can apply to any type of interior design. So it's not just all about high-end. And when I say high-end, it doesn't have to have or be extreme elegance. You can have elegance with a very casual, rustic environment if it's handled correctly. This comes into play not only handling the materials properly, but in handling the orchestration of textures. So it's not just color and pattern and things like that. It's the masterful orchestration of textures that makes a very rich environment. Matter of fact, even if you have a monochromatic color scheme, one color, if you're able to handle the materials and their textures in a phenomenally musical, orchestrated way, oh my gosh, it just comes off like wow. Like wrapping yourself in a mink coat, ladies. It's just fantastically wonderful. Of course, guys can wrap themselves in a mink coat too, and it's just as fantastically wonderful. So as far as what I've just said, it's not just what we see with our eyes looking outward, but what others see when they look at us in our environmental context. What are their perceptions? What do they want, or what do you want their perceptions to be? This is probably one of the most overlooked and underdiscovered aspects of interior design with respect to architecture and the holistic environmental context. So we're talking about merging architecture and interiors together the way they're supposed to be, like a hand and glove. But once these elements are employed by skillful hands and minds who are very in tune and sensitive to interior design and what interior design can really do and provide, it becomes an absolute force to be reckoned with. This is how you distinguish yourself from your competition. In this way, you get a standing ovation from your clients and customers multiple times over. So how do we make all this magic happen? Well, we've got to discover and integrate your business mission statement with your interior design presentation. So here are a few keys that will be extremely vital to the success of your office or store or restaurant, especially in regards to your interior design. Number one, proper discovery. This aspect is totally essential to making sure that things turn out as they should. A big part of this process is asking the right questions in order to get the right answers that contribute to getting the right results. Think of this as if you were Sherlock Holmes. Proper discovery also answers questions such as where am I right now? And what current conditions do I need to deal with? Where do I want to go? And what do I want to project to my clients and customers in terms of my visual interior design presentation? What kind of ambiance and feeling of the space do I want projected, as well as perceived by my clients and customers? What kind of aesthetic and functional aspects do I need to incorporate in order to reinforce and support my staff and employees? Number two, the mission statement. You want to take the information that's been extracted from talking about your dreams and what you want. In other words, take all the things that came from the discovery process and put them in a paragraph or two that talks about what it is you want to accomplish. We're talking about the look, the ambiance, the feel, and the emotions that you want portrayed in your environment, as well as portrayed to your clients and customers. This step is in addition to the functional aspects of a project, but it helps to hone that essence of the final result. You want to really refine this in a very descriptive way so that you have a yardstick, so to speak, a level, a plumb bob, so that you can measure things correctly. This aspect allows you to measure everything that happens from here on out to the end of the design process. So it's very important that we get this mission statement right, because it eliminates all the fluff and a lot of things that you really don't need to take up your time with, or your money, or your energy, or even just the mental aspect of it, or the emotional aspect of it. Get all that out of the way and focus on the things that really matter. Number three, budget. This is definitely your quote-unquote vested interest, because you surely have a vested interest in the amount of money you want to invest in your project or office or building or restaurant. The idea is we don't want to just merely spend your money. We want to invest it with a view toward the maximum return on your investment, and that return can happen in a lot of different ways. Now, I've got a warning here. Don't be unrealistic. You've got to be realistic here. Do not expect a Rolls-Royce for the price of a Buick. If you are a Rolls-Royce business, or believe you are a Rolls-Royce business in terms of quality of service and products, then by all means have a Rolls-Royce quality presentation in your interior design. Now, you don't have to do everything all at once. In some cases, it is nice to do it all at once because it eliminates a lot of disruption and headaches. But you can, in a lot of cases, space out your investment over a 5-year, 10-year, 15-year, or 20-year span. You can pick any time span you want. This is where a master plan comes into play. It is absolutely necessary for the proper utilization of your resources. Obviously, some of the things you will have to do all at once, such as certain construction phases. But there are some things that can be postponed and added after the fact without causing a lot of disturbance as long as these things are pre-planned and accommodations have been made for them. So in essence, you are designing incremental additions or advances into your master planning for implementation later on. Master planning is the exciting part, because once you have a plan and a vision for where you want to go, you will find the money to make it happen. It's not a prerequisite to have that money in hand right now, but having a vision makes the potential of getting the money that you need a much more possible and probable outcome. Number 4, integration. The architecture and the interiors function as a hand and glove scenario. The interior, which includes all the backgrounds, furniture, furnishings, window treatments, artwork, etc., they all function as a stage setting, so to speak, for the individuals that will inhabit the space. It's important that these elements put those individuals that are working in that space and in your business environment into the very best light. They need to be gems, highlighted against the backdrop of your business or your business environment. And I'm talking about the backgrounds here. Remember, people are one of your biggest investments. The whole environment should reinforce, support, and enhance everyone working for the business or company. What I have enunciated to you is exactly the way I do business. All of my designs are personally tailored to the client, with the result being orchestrated with the desired ambiance that is seen, felt, understood, and experienced. I apply this philosophy and manner of working to a broad range and spectrum of commercial interior design and residential interior design, as well as furniture and lighting design. A lot of times I will communicate these concepts and help people to understand and communicate these things to others via teleseminars, webinars, and seminars. So there you have it. Two interrelated elements, major topics that blend together just like intertwining or weaving your hands together, your left and your right hand, like you would hold your hands and interlace your fingers. It's that type of thing. So one hand helps and supports the other and vice versa. So this interlacing your fingers is like a dovetail joint. It's not only beautiful, but visually indicative of integrity. It's very unified, like dovetail joints. Not only are they strong because they are interlaced, but they are also extremely good looking as far as a woodworking analogy with joints is concerned. But that is the essence of it, in that one hand supports the other hand. And having this integrated and interlocking scenario in your interior design blends your business philosophy or mission statement with the interiors. And having this integrated and interlocking scenario to your interior design helps to blend your business philosophy or mission statement with the interiors so that they are totally unified and saying the same thing and communicating the same idea or philosophy or mission statement to your clients, customers, and guests. It's a huge force and element that will communicate very vividly to your customers and clients. So it's extremely important, and I can't emphasize it enough that we create the proper backdrops, not only for your clients and customers, but also the people who work for you. The goal of the environment is to be a backdrop so that people are the gems in the setting. So it's very important to understand and get that. Thank you to everyone who tuned into the Interior Design Beat podcast. It's the podcast that's the heartbeat of Interior Design Podcast. So let's be taking care of business every day. Let's be taking care of business every way. And that's taking care of your clients, customers, and guests with interior environments that show you care so they feel special and appreciated. Your Silent Salesperson, which is all the materials and everything that is orchestrated to say something, should be talking to and communicating with your client or customer, even while they're waiting for you to greet them or before an assistant brings them to your office. Oh yes, when your business interior design is done well, it will delight the eyes, satisfy the soul, and engage the intellect and emotions of your clients, customers, and guests. Just remember, your environment's distinguished look and feel, plus the magic of ambiance, is what soon sets you and your business or home apart from any other space you've ever enjoyed.